First, I want to thank Rolando, really, my leaders, for giving me this opportunity, to be able to speak to you guys. And what I want to go over with today is decisions. We've all made decisions, whether they were good ones or bad ones. What I really want to touch on today is the right no. As adults, we tend to say no to the things that we don't like. Some of the examples that we say no to that we don't like is like waking up early. As soon as we wake up in the morning, we hear that alarm clock. No, I just wait. Some more examples is putting on a seatbelt. I know we all don't obey the law, even though we try to, but we see that cop, but as soon as he passes by, what do? We just, no, I'm not going to follow the law. Just some things that we say that we say no to that we shouldn't. For another example is being sober. We hang around those homeboys, those camaradas. They're having a party and they pass you a Bud Light. And what do? You don't say no. You accept it. And what I really want to touch up on is we know what to do. We all know the answers. None of us are children here. We're all grown adults. But because we choose to make the wrong decision is the reason why we're here. Is the reason why we've screwed up some things in the past. And that's the reason why I really want to touch up on the decisions that we have to make in our lives. Myself, I've made some bad decisions. I chose, a lot of bad no's. When I was in high school, they would tell me, hey, you need to go to school. They're going to give you truancy. I'd be like, nah, and I would push it. And you get that mail, that you have to go to court. Maybe some of you parents, that, maybe some of your kids, they miss a little bit, too many days. And you get that mail and you're just like, man, because I let him say no. Because I chose to say, you know what, no, I'm not going to go. Another example is being a leader. As parents, that I see there's a couple of parents in here, you don't realize the effect that you have on your children. I'm not a parent, but I've been around these people that they showed me the ropes and stuff like that, and you don't realize the effect that you have on your children. The effect that okay, I'm gonna act like if I'm nice and good around my child, but you don't know that they're watching every move that you make. Every decision that you make, whether it's financially, whether it's with your marriage, whether it's, things at the house. Say you miss one rent and you're struggling and you're asking people around you, hey, let me $100. I'm short on rent. Hey, I really need you to help me out with this job. I'm struggling. You don't see that your children are watching everything. And what's playing into effect is that kids are like sponges these days. They're seeing you and they want to be everything like you. Whether if it was in prison, whether if it's a drug addict, whether if it's homeless. I was homeless. You know what I mean? So I've been through some wars. Maybe not as many as some people in here. But you don't see that your children are taking everything that you are giving on the table. Everything that you're doing. Your leadership is key. Whether you don't even know that you're being a leader, whether you like it or not. Because what a leader is directing somebody into a certain direction. But what are you leading to? Are you leading your kids to, smoke another crack rock? Are you leading your kids, to be late on rent every other month? Or are you leading your kids to see the anger that you guys go through at the house? Maybe you guys get frustrated, bills are piling up, Maybe she didn't make the tortillas right. But you see, your kids are watching all of this. And what you're showing them is what they're receiving. And the thing that I really want to touch up on is, saying the right no's. Some who didn't make it today, they chose to say that no. Some people are here, some people didn't make it tonight. They had the decision that you guys said yes to because you guys are here. But those that decided to say no, like, no, I'm not going to come to this class tonight. I'll go next week. I'm just going to miss one time, it's okay. But you see, you guys said yes. Though they decided to say no. And you see, it's these no's that are going to play out in your life. Whether, saying the wrong no, or, it's either going to land you back in prison, back to being a drug addict, or worst case scenario is going to leave you dead. You guys aren't children. You know what it was like when you're there with your boys and they're telling you, hey, let's go rob another store. Hey, let's just go take another hit. Hey, it's just another 20. And what did you do? You said yes. Why? Why did you say yes? And that's really what I want to touch up on. Because everything in this class is the basics. Everything in this class, it's not rocket science like Orlando was. Everything here is just to remind you of the things that you know that you're already supposed to be doing. The right no's. What are, if I could get some participation, what are some good no's that you could say here? Some good no's. Anybody?
No, like no.
And no's. What are some good things that you can say no to?
Food, probably. No burger.
There you go. Especially here living in the valley, a lot of us should probably say no to some things. You know what I mean? You see that botana? Oh, no, not this time, but no. Some good no's, anybody? Anything?
Good no?
Some good no's. Some things that are good to say no to.
Drugs.
Drugs. Yes?
Hanging out with old friends.
Hanging out with old friends. How many of y'all can actually say yes to that one?
Yeah.
Right? Because if anything, our old friends are probably the one that helped us to get in this class, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who's the one that landed in prison?
You.
Was it your old friends? No, right? Who was it? It was us. I never been to prison, but I've been to jail like more than 10 times. So I understand that, but it was with my homeboys that say they got my back, that say they'll always be there, that say they would write to me, and I never got a single letter. I'm pretty sure you guys know a little bit of that. Some good no's that we need to take into our lives. Some no's that would help us build, help us grow. And what we don't take into mind is that some of these no's will affect our lives. We get that call from your family member. Hey, I'm gonna have a party. Just bring a 24. Okay, hey, it's family. It's okay. I'm just gonna have maybe 1-2 drinks, right? You'll be all right. But then what happens? You always have that one Theo that gets a little bit too rowdy. He starts talking a little bit too much. And then what happens? The fight breaks out. And what happened? Accidents happen. You guys get into a fight. Somebody goes to jail. Why? Because you didn't say no. Because you decided to say yes. Hey, it's just you gave it a little bit of room. And that's a big thing too. I'm part of the church, and one thing that I really took in as I was being in my walk is if you leave the door just a little bit open, the devil's gonna kick it right open. You give that little bit of room, and that's what landed you where you are. It wasn't that last time that you took a hit. It wasn't that last time that you were driving while drunk. It was that first time. It was that first time when you started hanging around with your friends. It was that first time when you started drinking. That very first time you opened up the window just a little bit. And what happened? Now you're here. But you see, there's a good thing about all of this. It's just like every no, there's always a yes. And every no, there's always a yes. There's always something that you can be able to take into your lives and be like, you know what, that was a no, but you know what, I can say yes to this. You know what, yes, I messed up over here, but I can do something to help progress my life. Some of the things that can help you, some of the yeses in your life, it's like, being disciplined. Me, I barely started going to the gym, and I hate it. I hate it. But I don't want to be todo flaquillo like my whole life. You know what I mean? So one of the things that I started saying yes to is eating right. Little things like that. You start eating right. You start thinking right. I started reading more. All these things I started saying yes to were erasing my nose. They were helping me grow. They were helping me become the person that I really need to be. Any examples that maybe any one of you want to give, to say yes to? Anything?
What do you mean say yes to?
Things that will help you be positive.
Coming to church.
Well,
Coming to
I
church.
told my wife, like, I recently messed up recently,
Okay.
and right now we're just working things out. I like to work out. It's something I'm hooked on doing since I was little, since I've been locked up. I was little, like, all I did was stay out of church when I was in jail, prison, everywhere. And I went to church since I was, a little kid. I know all this stuff. But one thing I like to do is work out because it blanks everything out.
It's like therapy.
Bad things, yeah. 'Cause sometimes I don't like to talk. Sometimes, I just don't feel like talking to nobody. Because if I get to talk, you get me to talking to you, you end up talking about something bad, the next thing, stuff I'm talking about you don't want to do, either with someone else or with me. Well, sometimes I really don't like to talk. So I like to work out. But then when I start working out, and I work out every day, I lose time with her. Then I gotta cut that out, and then after I cut that out, then we start eating. Next thing I know, I'm getting skinny.
Well, you see, that's understandable, but just like everything else, there's balance. You have to have a balance. Like you see, me, I'm called to preach. At the same time, I'm balancing my work. I just recently started talking to this girl at church. Praise God. With my pastor's consent, of course. I'm balancing. I'm learning how to, at the same time I'm saving, at the same time I'm going to the gym. It's about having a balance. But you see, you're saying yes to the right things. You know what I mean? It's when you have that balance with the wrong nose, that's when you start falling off a little bit. And you see, you're doing okay right now because the first step, just like Zapata said, is that we all have a problem. And you see, right there, you've already accepted. Hey, you know what? This is what I'm doing, whatever. But you already know. So what's the next step from knowing already? It's dealing with it, working with it. And one thing that I really took in from Orlando, he told me, it was probably one of the first classes that he ever did. There was probably like four people in here, maybe max. And that was on a good day. And I remember he probably doesn't even remember this either. But he told me, he's just like, your life is like building a house. When you build a house, you got the walls, you have, the roof, the floor, and everything. But when you're trying to fix your house, what do you have to do? You have to break down the walls. You have to tear down the floor. And you have to start from the bottom up. Nobody's gonna start building a roof, from the get-go.
Foundation.
Exactly, foundation. You have to build your floor. You have to tear everything out. All that stuff, all that badness, all your past, everything like that. You have to tear it out and start anew. Unless you want to be living in that same house. But none of us do. That's obviously why we're here, because we're choosing to change. We're choosing to live in a different house, metaphorically speaking. So what do? You have to build. You have to take out the old walls. You have to build up new stuff. And then in the end, you put a roof, you put new lights. But it's a process. You can't build the house in a day. It's impossible. It takes time. But within that time, you're progressing. In that time, you're learning, to say the right things. You're learning, like me, I wake up early. I wake up at 6. That might be late for some of you guys, but I wake up at 6. I come to prayer because I need that. I could stay asleep and I could be like, I'm just gonna miss prayer today. But if I miss prayer, my day's off. After that, I drink a little bit of coffee. I'm a coffee addict. I went from smoking weed and popping bars to drinking coffee. And I accept that because, I don't want to be a drug addict anymore. I was homeless, lived under a bridge. My mom passed away when I was in 8th grade. I was angry at the world because my dad left 2 months after that. And I could have stayed being homeless. By the grace of God, I graduated. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. I could have stayed under that bridge. I could have stayed, eating ramens, twice a day, and that was my meal. I could have stayed in that situation, but because I said no, I said the right no. I said, no, I'm not going to live like this. I said, no, I have something for my life. The same way, God, this is faith-based class. So the same way God took me out of that bridge and made me who I am now, which I still got a lot to go. It's the same thing He can do for you. Same thing He can do for each and every one of us. Some of you guys, you have family to lean on. Some of you, you have, wives, girlfriends, to lean on and stuff like that. You have children. People are looking at you. People are counting on you. But it all depends on that. Know that you have to accept into your lives. There's this class. This class, honestly, it isn't to make you feel small. It isn't to make you feel like a child, because, and honestly, like I said before, you know what you need to do. But it's to help us. It's to remind us. It's to remind us that it starts with the basics, it starts with the foundation. But because you're here, you've already taken that next step. But what's going to be the next step after that? Are you just going to keep coming to this class every Thursday? You leave this place the same person, and nothing even changes. Hey, write my name, boom, I'm done. Are you really going to change? Are you really going to be that leader that your child is looking up to? Are you really going to be that adult that's going to be able to speak in front of people and people are going to listen? Where people look at you and be like, man, I can't believe that guy used to live under a bridge. I can't believe that guy's done over 5 years in prison. But because you've changed. Because you've chosen to say the right no's. It all starts with a choice. The choice is